Welcome to the High Pressure Podcast with me, George Rotterman.
And me, Marie Williams. Brought to you by Reliably Ratterman.
Bringing you industry news and trends.
Plus, insightful conversations with industry leaders.
Let's get to today's show.
Hello, Nikki.
Hi.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Excited to be here.
It's been 3 years since you've been on. I'm sure a lot has changed.
3 years.
I think, I actually don't know. It might have been 2 years, but it feels like it was a year ago because a lot has gone on, I'm sure. So before we dig into like all the amazing things that you do, I want to talk about Wente Winery, which is your family winery. And let me get this right. So you guys are the longest or the oldest family-ran winery in the United States, right?
That's been continuously operated. So
Yes.
there's other wineries that are technically older than us, but they had to shut down through Prohibition. And we were lucky enough to be given a wine contract during Prohibition.
Which is just so wild. You're like referencing Prohibition like it happened like last year or something. Like, you know.
You remember Prohibition?
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. And you guys, can you explain the reach of Wente Winery? Because it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So we're in all 50 states. We are in 77 countries. And yeah, we do a lot of exports. This year exports have been challenging, but, typically we do like 20% of our business, through exports and then the rest through domestic.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. So you're going to be speaking at the upcoming Southwest Regional Conference. We're super excited to have you at in Sonoma. And I think, you know, my co-chair and I were talking about the fact that, wine is really a parallel industry to ours, which I'm sure you don't know much about our industry, but there's a lot of strong independent family companies. And then there's a lot of big majors with a ton of money and, you know, can spend whatever they want to spend.
Yeah.
Which wine, like the wine industry seems to have something similar there, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how has Wente been able to, and I know you'll be touching on this more during the conference, but how has Wente been able to compete against the big dogs, if you will? Because you're competing against, you know, hiring, retaining people, marketing, selling. Like how do you do that?
Yeah. I think, a lot of people come to Wente because we are very much like a family run business. When you come to Wente, especially leaving corporate America and coming to Wente, it feels more like you're in a very low stakes environment, very fun environment. Like we try and make things simple, easy. Like there's not a lot of red tape, not a lot of hoops to jump to get like things pushed through. And I think that's what like has been a selling point for a lot of our people to come to Wente from corporate. And then I think the other thing is that we have a lot of long-time employees. So our retention is really good. Like I think our average tenure is over 10 years.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah. A lot of people on my team have been with Wente for like 30 years, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's because like once they come, there's a lot of upward mobility. Like we try and keep the people that understand our business within our business.
Oh my gosh.
And so like we definitely find that giving people opportunities for growth has helped to retain them in our business. And then also understanding employees, because not every employee wants growth. Sometimes people like being an individual contributor,
Yes.
and that's what they want to do. And so making sure that you're creating pathways that every employee wants has been something really important to us.
Yeah.
We're definitely very people focused, I think, and that's been like the way that we win.
But how many employees are at Wente?
We're at about 250.
So how do you foster that environment with 250 employees? Does that include like checking in, kind of creating a succession plan? What does that look like?
Yeah. So it's funny because the wine industry is strange because we have like a little bit of every industry in one business, because we have hospitality, we have agriculture, we have production, we have like manufacturing,
Yeah.
we have marketing, sales,
Yeah.
we have finance. So like each different silo, I think, of our business has really strong leadership, and those people are constantly checking in, doing individual development plans. And I think because there's not like I think the biggest crossover between like business units is my sister Allie, who's in charge of marketing and hospitality, but marketing and hospitality really are hand in hand.
Yes.
And so it's worked out well for her because she has great leaders in each location too that can help her. But yeah, having really strong business leaders, I think, in each different like unique business area has helped us for sure.
I love that. And then as far as getting into gaining market share against like big players, what does that look like for Wente?
Yeah, I think that's the hardest piece because the market share is really driven by a consumer, but the consumer is not the gatekeeper. So in wine, we have distributors who are the gatekeeper. And so that distributor is going to sell your wine to the owner of a shop or the grocery store chain or whatever it might be. And if that distributor is not doing a good job at presenting your material, or if they have so many things in their book that they don't even think to present your material, then you're not standing out. So I think what has helped us is having something that's unique about our product. Most wines in our price range are not Central Coast. They're California wines. So we've narrowed it down to being a smaller, higher quality area in the state. So that's helps with the gatekeeper because the gatekeeper is the most important piece. And that's between the gatekeeper really for us is both the distributor and the owner of the store or restaurant.
Yeah.
And if we can differentiate ourselves in some way that makes us unique, that's going to be the entry point because all you need for them to do is taste your product. And once they taste it, they'll taste the quality.
Yeah.
But if they have 10 wines in front of them, what's going to make them choose ours? Yeah. And once it's on a wine list or in the grocery store, the chances it gets pulled are pretty good as long as you have a good placement within the store. Yeah. But it's really just like, how do you get in the store?
Yes. Absolutely.
And so you just have to have like something unique and special.
Yeah, which is great. I also, a big discussion we've been having with, customers and vendors and all the above is like Wente is such a good quality wine. And I know, well, you guys do have wine that's super expensive, but which is so worth it. Like it's worth every drop. But you also have wine that's like at a really great price point. Yeah. But it's still not the like absolute cheapest. So how, I guess when you're partnering with vendors to help you produce your wine, are you looking for the cheapest option or are you looking for like the same type of quality to then, does that make sense how I'm asking?
For like buying grapes?
Yeah. Or like buying grapes or I'm not really sure all the, like it might be machines that you're buying or like, you know, all those vendors that you're buying from to like produce the grapes or the wine. Yeah. What does that look like? Are you guys looking for someone that's matching the same value of Wente or what does that?
Yeah. So like from a grape standpoint, most of our wines are estate grown. So that's lucky. But then when we do go out and buy grapes, we are looking for a certain quality standard. And if it doesn't reach the quality standard, it affects the purchase price or we won't purchase it in the future. Yeah. And then with like equipment, it's the same thing. So we have standards for each different tier of wine that we produce. If it's going to be, machine picked, hand picked, or machine picked with the select processing that like kicks out other fruit. Oh, wow. And we have like the same sort of thing in the winery where you either use like our large lot equipment or small lot equipment and it changes the cost per gallon because it's either higher touch or lower touch, basically. So everything is really tailored to the target price point of the wine. Got it. Which is all about quality. Yeah. But I think it really does start from the grapes because if you have bad grapes, you can't make a good wine. Oh, for sure. So you have to start with, if you want to deliver something that's above the price point in terms of quality, like where people think like, wow, that over delivered. Right. You have to start with the best grapes. Yeah. And then you can start taking away things as you go through the process of winemaking because you're like, oh, we don't need to invest that much more because it's going into the lowest tier program or whatever it is. Right. It still will be a wonderful wine because you started out with these amazing grapes. Yeah. That's such a,
thinking in a metaphorical way of business, like I know at Ratterman, it's like even if it's just like our $2 product that we're selling versus our, $80,000 product we're selling, where everyone's going to have like the same basis of highest level of customer service to buy from. And I feel like Wente does a really good job of that. Like you guys are like, we're going to go, our fundamentals are going to be the highest level of what they can be. And then the trickle down effect is always just going to be great. You know, like it's just always going to be a good standard. So, but when you are partnering, and I know this is like a little different than specifically what you're going to be talking about at the Southwest Regional, but when you are partnering with vendors, are you guys like, let's say you're buying new tractors or I don't know all the machines that go into making wine, but that's your expertise. But are you like just looking for the cheapest option, or is it something else there that you're looking for in a vendor?
Oh, that's a good question. It sort of depends. We usually aren't looking for the cheapest option when it comes to like our equipment or materials that are going into the wine. Like, let's say barrels. Yeah. Like, you have to have a very specific barrel program. And like, if you change the barrel program, consumers will notice.
Really?
Which is crazy. Especially on wines like Riva Ranch Chardonnay. Like, it's a classic wine that people like, that has barrel. And if you take away some of the barrels or invest in different barrels that are a little bit less expensive, we get phone calls. Like, we get like people writing into us. They know. So if we don't change the recipe, even if we don't change the recipe, they call and they're like, something's different this year. Why is this vintage different than last vintage? Which is, it's crazy. But we're really more so like when I'm looking at new tractors, which we've been looking for a couple years because we don't love the tractors we currently have. We're looking for something that's going to do the job the best so that I have the least amount of downtime for equipment. And that's usually not the cheapest option.
Oh, so that's what's going to save you money on the back end, but not on the front end.
Right.
Yes.
And so we have like I feel like our capital approval process is probably one of our most corporate things. Because we want to look at it for like its entire lifespan. What are going to be the repair and maintenance costs over time? And that's sort of what we do for both the vineyards and wineries. But when we look at like additives from like a supplier that we're buying, like yeast or, things that you put into wine or like fungicide, we're also looking for something that's going to do the best job, not necessarily the cheapest option. Winemaking is honestly super expensive. It's crazy.
I know you're saying all these things and I'm just like, okay, another dollar.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And just like so much time to make it.
Yes.
Which is a beautiful craft. Yeah. So I guess if you had advice to vendors that are helping to supply someone that, like our industry, we supply all the parts for then the end user, like a winery or manufacturing plant or whatever it is to operate. What would be your advice to vendors working with a company that's looking for high quality of how they can best help that company?
Yeah. Well, I think it kind of goes back to like, if they're looking for high quality, then they probably aren't looking for your cheapest option, right? So I think that like figuring out what exactly that company is looking for, and maybe they have tiers like we do, where you like, okay, for morning fog, we probably don't need to put it in the most expensive barrels,
right?
But we probably don't want to put it in the cheapest barrel, so we got to find somewhere in the middle. With wine specifically, like we will show, like we'll bring vendors in and be like, this is what we're going for. Like, this is what we want it to taste like. Or like I'll bring like our pesticide company out and I'll be like, hey, this is unacceptable. Like the way this looks, like we need it to be cleaner or we need it to have better vigor. Like what fertilizer would you offer for me or what fungicide or, the more time we spend with our vendors, I think the more they understand our business. And it really just goes down to understanding the business. And, so like I know sales reps probably sometimes feel stressed that they're like being annoying, but like the more time you spend like learning about the business, the better you will be able to serve them.
Totally. I feel like it should not start at the, hey, I need this product from you. It should be starting way beyond that to understand what are the goals of the company, where are they trying to get to in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, what have been their challenges, what they like, what they don't like, all the above. So I think you just painted that in a perfect way. Is Wente using AI currently? And if so, are you able to talk about how?
We are using AI for a lot of analytics right now. We have a lot of restrictions on AI.
I get that.
And then we're also working with like a few different companies that are trying to build out AI solutions for vineyards specifically, around like crop estimation or, virus detection, like those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Mostly like AI imagery so that it has the machine learning that can interpret.
So cool.
That. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And you guys are using robotics, right? Like, you're the first winery to be using the robotic tractor or something?
It's an electric autonomous tractor. It's not the first robotic, like autonomous tractor on the market, but it is the first electric autonomous. And we do use them There's definitely challenges with firsts, but I think that's another thing that's great about being like a family owned business is that you tend to have more bandwidth to do these kind of small projects, like side projects with like another company that wants to demo a piece of equipment.
Right.
I don't have a whole lot of people that I have to get sign-offs from to like say, hey, I want to trial these electric tractors. Yeah. And so, but like if it was a bigger corporation, it might be harder to try that.
Yeah, totally. So for when you look at Wente, where do you hope to see Wente in 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah. Well, so the wine industry is going through like a ton of changes.
Okay.
Right now we are seeing like a uptick in light whites. So we're kind of reinvigorating our focus on light white wines like Sauv Blanc, Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, those kinds of wines. And then hopefully as people get more comfortable with white wines, they'll start drinking some more reds and we can continue to promote some of our red wines.
Yeah. I love a good glass of wine. And it's funny, all of my girlfriends have switched from like reds to like whites recently. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's what's happening. Like everyone's switching to whites.
Yeah. So thinking about this in terms of our industry, like we have, instead of like reds and whites and I don't know if you say blushes, but to see how educated I am on wine, but pinks or whatever. Our industry has like CO2, helium, argon, all of those hydrogen, right? And so, and based on the way like policies are in office, it can really like change. Like for instance, the last group in office, they were very about hydrogen and like they did a lot of credits for hydrogen and tax breaks for hydrogen and all the above.
So people leaned into that.
Yes. And so that was booming. And then this office is like taking those away. So that's kind of slowing down. And then other items are like picking up. But I guess my question to you is, it seems like, I asked that answer or that question off the cuff and you immediately had an answer to it of like what the vision is for Wente. And you guys have put a lot of thought into where you want to go and you're seeing what's working, what's not working. What's your advice to other people operating their business to keep track of that and to have a clear vision?
Yeah, it's such a hard question. Especially, I'm not sure how hard it is to like change products in your industry, but for us, it's pretty hard, but especially if you're growing your own grapes because it takes years for it to come into production.
Yeah. And good point.
Like 3 years if I were to plant something until I get any crop at all.
Right.
So like switching from reds to whites is like almost impossible.
Yes.
So we have always been a business that has had a strong opinion about diversity of what we have planted. So not all of our eggs in one basket, which has been able to help us in terms of like the fluctuations in what people are drinking. Yeah. Have enough eggs in each basket that you can like kind of feed into a trend, but not too many where that's like all you're doing. And then all of a sudden people hate cab and now you're like cab. So I like, it's like trying to be everything for everyone is like sudden death in a business.
Totally.
But it sort of also is a savior in some ways. Like just but not being everything to everyone, but being a little like something for everyone. But I also think that it's important to focus on your strength. Yeah. And like we do morning fog Chardonnay well. Yes. Like people around the world know morning fog Chardonnay.
Yes.
Like my sister and I were invited to someone's wedding in Canada because their family loves morning fog.
Get out of here.
I'm dead serious. It's like morning fog.
That is so good.
They love it.
I mean, I believe that. Like my grandma, that's all she drinks. Every time she comes to our house, like she's like, I got the morning fog. And it's like hilarious. And then Jake's family's completely hooked on it now and they're from New England. So it just, I can totally see that.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, we know morning fog is a strength.
We're going to lean in.
Yeah. Lean into your strengths for sure. Like don't give up. Like people there has been like the anything but Chardonnay train. We didn't give up on morning.
Yeah. Good.
Like we just know your strength, but then like be able to diversify enough, be able to offer enough other things so that as trends change, you have at least a toe in the door.
Right.
And I don't know if that's all that applicable.
It is. It's actually very, and you're right. In every industry, it probably isn't, but in our industry, it kind of is. And the same way, like it takes you 3 years to grow grapes, it takes us 3, or our customers 3, 4, 5 years to set up certain like fill plants for gases or air separation units or whatever it may be. And then things can switch in a second. So, yeah. So
every 4 years, it sounds like.
Every 4 years. You don't know what you're going to get, but keeps us all on our toes. So.
Oh, man, that's really stressful.
Yeah, it can be. But I agree. Lean into your strengths, and that's what kind of sets you apart. And it builds the authenticity of your brand because you're not faking anything. Like that's what you're about. You know?
Like people will know you for your strength. So just keep showing up for that strength and don't pull away because people might not be leaning in at that moment to that strength.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was super fun. I'm so excited for you to talk at the Southwest Regional. Do you want to kind of sum up what you want to talk about at the Southwest?
Yeah, we were going to talk a little bit more about like how to position yourself as a family business or like what we have, what makes us win.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's our strategy around how we win, how we keep people, how we can position our product. And then I think that was it, right?
I think that's it. We'll get in and there'll be like a Q&A at the end as well. And you spoke at one of Ratterman's events a few years ago, and I still have people come up to me that are like, that was so good, or that watched the recording and they're like, that was so good. And you talked about succession planning and how you really empower the people that work for you. And I think it's fantastic. So I'm excited to have you back.
Yay. I'm excited to come. It'll be a fun time.
In your old stomping grounds of Sonoma.
Yes.
So, and actually I do want to say that's something that our industry does since there's so many family companies. Your family company also, part of the deal was you needed to go work somewhere else.
Yes.
And then come back.
Yeah. And I worked in Napa and Sonoma, and I lived in the city of Sonoma, right down the street from the Sonoma Mission Inn.
Where the conference will be.
Yes.
Let's plug it some more.
Yes.
Awesome.
Go to the conference.
Exactly. Well, I hope you get some sleep today.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in with no sleep. Like 2 hours of sleep.
Who needs sleep? We're moms.
We're moms. We're used to this. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Oh, also, before we go, Nikki and her sister have an amazing podcast. Do you want to plug that really fast?
Yeah. So my sister and I do a podcast about books and wine. It's called the Wine Sisters Book Club. And it's honestly us just like chatting for 30 minutes and then us talking about a book for like 15 minutes that we read monthly. And it's been fun. And we'll continue doing it next year, but probably it'll look maybe a little different. I don't know that we did 12 books, like a book a month this year. We might do less books and more like surprise episodes.
Yeah, that's fun.
So we'll see.
Okay.
But the Wine Sisters, come join us.
Yeah, Wine Sisters on everywhere you listen to a podcast, I guess.
Yes.
And it's super fun. And then you can just like throw it on while you're having your glass of wine because we need to get that back up in America.
Yeah. Everyone drink wine.
Consumption needs to skyrocket by next year.
Honestly, any alcohol.
Yeah,
really.
hey, pick up afternoon.
At leisure, or not at leisure, at moderation.
At moderation.
At moderation. Moderate.
Yeah, you want to micromanage that one, not do what Nikki does with her. Okay, well, thank you, Nikki.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay up to date with the latest news in the gas and welding industry by clicking on the subscribe button.
And check out one of our other videos to learn more. Find out more about Reliably Ratterman at rmiordered.com.